we took the last 500 prisoners back to Argentina, and some of them were actually Welsh. So there was more of a connectivity with the people that we had as prisoners than there were with, do you know what I mean, the upper echelons of our, say, I would say the hierarchy of the army as such, but more from a political situation. Find yourself fighting with people that historically you probably have more in common with than, do you know what I mean?
When you say Welsh, do you mean they came from Patagonia? Or?
Yes, they did. They come from the Chubut part of Patagonia. And what I was trying to do this year was try and get a group of climbers to go and climb in Patagonia, but I think that's probably going to happen next year. But I think if we are likely to get together and do a climbing trip again, it's because of COVID. COVID's kind of thrown everything in disarray. What I was thinking of doing is organising something in Argentina with Patagonians, with the guys that we fought against, if they're physically able. I'm sure some of the veterans are physically able, because some of the conscripts we had were 14 years old. I mean, these are miserable, awful conditions they had to suffer. Half of them had dysentery. They had all kinds of horrible diseases because the food they'd been eating was dreadful. Probably as dreadful as the food we were eating. We had army rations, so that was pretty dreadful. But they were in a real bad state. The last 500 prisoners we took back to Puerto Madryn, which funnily enough is twinned with Nevin in North Wales, which is where I think the people who left Wales, what do you call I suppose they'd be
the ministry.
I think they were religious in some respects. I don't know why they left Wales. I think they just felt they were being persecuted by the English, got on the ship, and then went off to Argentina to make a new life for themselves. And then there's a part of Argentina which is forever Wales. I mean, they speak Welsh there. All of the traditions are there. Their flag has got the dragon on it, but it's got the Argentinian blue and white in the background. So I'm quite interested to find out more about this conversation that we had with these prisoners in Welsh. But also, there's a friend of mine, Mike Williams from North Wales, who basically he was looking after the prisoners on the car deck, and he's into his rock music. He likes Queen, he likes Led Zeppelin, all that kind of Deep Purple and all this. And he had a conversation with one of these lads, and it turned out they're both into Freddie Mercury, Queen, and all that kind of stuff. And they started singing "We Will Rock You," and it just went mental in the car deck. Everybody was singing we will rock you," and the whole deck erupted. And I just thought I was fascinated with that story. I just thought that's mental. That's absolutely mental. So I was actually quite intrigued to find out if there's anybody who actually recollects that moment when that happened.